Good morning, St. Louis. It is 7 a.m. on a Tuesday, so y'all know what time it is. It's time for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast with yours truly, Cortez Hustle, and my girl, Michelle. Hey. And today, we're talking about codependency. We're going to give y'all a codependency test today. Questions you should ask yourself to determine whether or not you are in a codependent relationship. Yes, it is about to go down. So y'all know how we do. Do us a favor, comment in the chat where you from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. And let's kick it.
Growing up in St. Louis has never been easy, and most say if you want to succeed here, that you must leave and put down roots somewhere else because of the strong crabs in a barrel mentality here.
I don't know if I'm just an optimistic person, but to see people like Chuck Berry and Nelly make it in the music industry, or the Roberts brothers and Dave Stewart in business, or William Lacey Clay Jr. in politics, can we blame the city, or is it that people just aren't hungry enough?
We're talking to all of the movers and shakers in this town, from entertainers to politicians, social activists and organizers, and of course, entrepreneurs.
Is there a curse on this city that holds people back? Is there an unseen hand that decides who makes it and who doesn't? You're about to find out.
Welcome to St. Louis Hustle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. That's my girl, Michelle. Hey. And we're coming to you live and direct from the Bob Crane Financial and Tax Planning Studios right here in the St. Louis metro area. Do us a huge favor, man. If you don't have a good tax planner in your life, and or you want some free financial literacy information, free courses, free videos, free ebooks, free downloads on all things money, I need you to click on the comments in the show notes and connect with my man, Bob. Go to his website, check out what he's got going on for free, and you might just want to book a call because the last thing you want to do is all your money to Uncle Sam, and he's going to teach you how to legally, ethically, and morally save more of your money, pay less in taxes legally, and do with the money that you save, i.e. invest and build generational wealth. So check that out in the show notes and the comments. Chalet!
Man, wait, can I go back to this? It was good. Can I go back to the sponsor real quick?
Yes.
I like how you said here, legally.
Yes.
Legally show you how to reduce the amount that they take out your paycheck. Because here's the thing, people, going exempt all year ain't the thing.
That's not the deal.
It ain't legal.
It's not the deal.
It's not.
But not
Uncle Sam, thank you. You're not exempt. Why should you not be paying taxes? Because you found that button inside of your online payroll thing. That's not why you should be exempt, because it lets you click it. It's not the reason to be exempt, people. Get your life. I did that. I was exempt for like 5 years. And boy, when I tell you, Uncle Sam called me and tore my butt up, it's like I got a whooping. I don't want a financial whooping no more. So don't do that. Bob Crane to help you get your life right. He over there upgrading lives is what he doing. That's what y'all need to call him. Call him. My weekend was good. You see, I'm coming live from the That's My Grandson Studios. That's what we over here with. We over here, that's my grandson studio. And man, just still loving on my baby. He is a week old and he's still just as cute as he wants to be. Loving him to death over here, or loving him to life rather. Man, the weekend, in celebration of my grandchild, I did do a little sugar shaking. Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just when I get the old school dance, and I went old school dancing, and it was pretty live.
Y'all, this is my grandbaby.
Right. It wasn't for me. It was for my grandbaby. Thank you for realizing. So it was a good time was held. I spent some time with my extended family, the Fosters and the Flanoys. They lost their dad the day after my grandson was born. The irony in it, which I don't really believe in irony because I don't believe there's no such thing as coincidence, but the sister to my barber, which my barber's like my brother, the sister to my barber, her and her husband stepped up to be the godparents for my grandchild. And so, because they always invite us to family functions and we stay pretty well tightly knit. And so their dad passed the day after my grandson was born. And so they you know, I just invite them. You know, of course, they got to take their time to grieve, but I want them to latch on to my grandbaby in any way they need to. You know,
Yeah.
so you know, but it was a family thing, and it was a good time had by all celebrating life. So that's what I did with my weekend. That's what I did a little bit.
Love it,
Yeah.
love it, love it. Looking at the top 25 things to do in the St. Louis area this weekend, and I don't know if I'm too excited about any of these. You can go to the arch, you can catch a game. You could have
What
a
game is it?
game, but the
Baseball
Cardinals are
game?
no longer in. But the Blues are getting their thing on.
The Blues.
Six Flags is still a viable
What's it
option
about
this
hockey?
time of the year.
Oh, Fright Fest.
It's been a night out on the town, y'all. The new St. Louis Aquarium. Have you been to the aquarium?
I am not, and I want to go so bad. So
I think my sugar.
let me not. Because I need to go. I've never been, and I would like to go. I'm gonna just sit there right there. Anybody in or out of St. Louis?
Put
take me
on
to
the
the aquarium.
list. What about the Foundry?
The who?
The Foundry. You been
What is that?
Foundry?
What is that?
It's
what do they do
there? It's a new. I guess they opened it in the spring, right near St. Louis U campus. Yeah.
What is it?
So they
like, what is a foundry?
They turned the old foundry into a happening spot for restaurants and things of that nature.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just a restaurant spot?
I think it's mostly restaurants. I haven't been. We got that on the schedule as well.
Okay, I'm gonna add
but
that
I
to
remember watching them build it out, and it's supposed to be pretty dope. Some vegan spots in there and all kinds of cool things to check out. Nevertheless, there's plenty of stuff to do in St. Louis if you search. And I'm actually working on a project that's going to serve us better in this capacity. In terms of what's more appealing to our audience and our demographic. So I can't wait to unveil that. So instead of what's happening in St. Louis, it's going to be what up, though? And y'all going to be able to go find all the happening hip joints out there. What up, though?
All I gotta say is don't get don't get no truck, don't get no van, and put your face on the side of it with a big ass crowd and with the dim your people. Don't do the dim your people thing, please.
Yeah.
Whenever I see the dim your people van, I be like, that is like, you might as well pay. Like when we walk in the store, the little ding dong go, and it sounds like they're saying ding. You might as well put that on the side of the van, dim your people with the crowd. Come on.
Gotcha.
What up, though? I can do that. What up, though?
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Something like that, right?
There it is.
Now it is time for us to get to one of our favorite segments on the show, the Michelle Word of the Day. Yes. So we're gonna bring in Michelle's new boyfriend to introduce this segment. So let's get into the A Word of the Day.
And now the Michelle Word of the Day.
Good morning, good people. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. So I'm here with the Michelle A Word of the Day. Now I'm a little jacked up because I had my scripture ready. But I lost it. But I believe I know. I think it's Proverbs 3, verse 5, I think. But today we're going to talk about trust, right? So I wanted to reference that scripture from a standpoint of, which I believe the scripture is, trust in the Lord with all your heart. I know that one. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not into your own understanding. And I wanted to talk about trust because, it's a hard thing to do. Here's what I think most people, we kind of get twisted up when we start thinking about trust, especially because we trust God, we know that. But where we have to be in situations where we trust other people, that's where we get jacked up, right? And so we often will put the trust or put the factor of trust on the person solely. And this happens mostly mainly in relationships, right? Husband to wife, mother to child, child to mother, those staple relationships in our lives that we know we need, and in most circumstances kind of need to trust the other person, right? So how do you trust somebody that you don't really know if you can trust, right? In those pivotal relationships. Now, if you have to fool around with every time Dick and Harry, then no, you shouldn't be just trusting every time Dick and Harry. However, if you're in one of those pivotal relationships, I just want to remind you of that scripture, right? Trust God before you trust a person, and especially in a marriage situation. If you're concerned about your husband or your wife doing other things that they shouldn't be doing, I think in a relationship, the trust level should start at a spiritual level. I'm going to trust God that this situation in my marriage is going to go the way it should, right? And then there is a certain amount of trust that you give to the individual. But I think when you overarchingly trust God, you give him control of the situation to work on that individual. If you kind of don't trust or put too much trust in the person, when they fail you, that's when we're hurt the most and let down. But if we're trusting God, even if that person fails to some degree, we know that God is in control, and we trust him that even when it doesn't look good and doesn't feel good, it's still going to work for our good. And we don't put all that pressure on the individual. Again, it doesn't negate responsibility for the other person, but it helps us to be able to appropriate trust in the right place, thus not getting so disappointed by our frail human selves, because we're human people. We're going to make mistakes and we're going to let each other down. But you can rest assured there's one person that will never fail and never let you down, and that's God. So, pick a side. No. Put your trust in the Lord and watch things work out. So that is your Michelle A. word of the day. Boom.
Awesome. And today's word of the day is brought to you by the CORTEZ Hustle Challenge. Some of you guys are trying to figure out the perfect side hustle. How to make money online is my favorite. And I've got a free system that will help you do just that. So go to CORTEZHustleChallenge.com, or you can simply click on the link in the show notes or in the description here, or one of the banners on the blog if you're listening and watching us on the blog. All we do is we promote a digital marketing platform that every business needs anyway. And I'll show you how to systematically do that in a way that you get paid over and over and over and over again to the tune of your efforts, right? That's what I love about what I do, Michelle, is if I ain't making enough money, it's only because I ain't doing enough work. It ain't because a supervisor or a manager or somebody else said that he don't deserve a raise. No, if I ain't making enough money, it's because I ain't doing enough work. So check out the CORTEZ Hustle Challenge, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for the perfect side hustle. Now, we're talking about codependency, and sometimes you don't know if you're in a codependent relationship. Well, we got a little test for you, and we got some questions that you should ask yourself to help you determine whether or not you are in a codependent relationship. Do us a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and then let us know, have you ever found yourself in a codependent relationship? If so, how did you escape? How did you get out of it? What did you do? Or maybe you didn't get out of it. Maybe both people just changed and y'all made a better relationship. So that's what we're talking about today. I think I'll kick us off, Michelle, with when two people have a very close relationship, it's natural and mentally healthy to depend on each other for certain things. However, if one of you lose sight of who you are in order to please only the other person, the relationship can become very unhealthy. One of the most contributing relationships or troubling relationships elements is codependency. Codependency is defined as an unhealthy relationship where partners are overly reliant on one another. As a result, a dysfunctional pattern of living and problem solving develops between the two. So here's what you should be asking yourself if you want to know if you are in a codependent relationship. Number one, you want to kick in before we get into number one?
Just real quick, what if you don't want to know? Like, what if you went in, you're like, you know what, I'm okay in this. You know what, we can do that at the end. We go with it. We do that at the end.
If you don't want to know, you don't want to listen, because I promise these questions will get all in your spirit and have you,
all up in there.
Michelle, give them the look. They'll have you giving your mate the look.
Really, Joker? Okay.
So if you don't want to know, we don't often give you permission to exit the show, but
right.
If you scared that this might cause some issues in your relationship, yeah, you might want to exit stage left, right about
because once you know it, you can't unknow it. You can't unknow it. So if you don't want to know this, and it might be some denial people out there.
I'm sorry, you cannot unscramble the eggs. You can't unscramble them. You can't do that. So,
okay.
Number one, are you afraid to express genuine feelings to your partner? Are you afraid to express genuine feelings to your partner? If you notice, you often hold in your feelings for fear of how your partner will react. That's a sign that the relationship is not as healthy as it could be. Doesn't mean that it's not healthy, people, right? My wife and I had some of this, the type of person that I am. It took me years to get to a place to be able to say, you know what, sugar, I just don't like that. And don't even ask me why, because I don't really know why. I just don't. And it's okay that I don't, right? And she said, well, okay, you don't like it, it's okay. And some of that stuff takes place. So our relationship was healthy, but it just became healthier when we really both got to a place where we're okay saying exactly how we feel at the moment of feeling. And here's the interesting part, Michelle. She, because I don't harbor on bitterness or disappointment or letdown or any of that longer than a couple seconds, she gets mad that I never get mad. Well, I need to know that for those 2 seconds that you are mad, then you need to tell me, so I know. Like, it's not even worth it. Why would I bring it back?
She wants that, but she wants that honest emotion out of you. You know what I'm saying? If you mad, let it out. I'll just say this real quick, because I told somebody this recently. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be mad, just don't stay mad. So I appreciate the fact that you get mad for a couple seconds and you can wash that off. The Bible says, be angry, but sin not. The Bible never said you couldn't get mad at something. Get mad. But when you cut it off, that's when I think you could prevent the action that comes behind anger. So again, get mad, just don't stay mad. So I think that's a good recipe.
Boom.
Yeah. Number 2. All right. I've been here. If you do express feelings honestly, do you then feel guilty? If you do choose to speak up, do you be like, damn? Perhaps you think, I shouldn't have said nothing. It just made matters worse. After you're open, if you say that after you're open with your partner, you got problems, because it means you're walking on eggshells. You know what I'm saying? That person is creating a space for you where if you say something, if they come down on you, because I think the only way you'd have this feeling is if you said something and the person overreacted. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, I should just left well enough alone. Then that means that other person is being super sensitive, or you being really rough in your delivery, one or the other.
Right.
You know.
And either way, you got to be careful, because what you're doing is you're training that person how to treat you, or that person is training you how to behave in their presence.
Absolutely.
I want y'all to think about that. We see it in movies all the time, right? If that man or that woman has a reaction to your honest assessment, your honest feelings, your honest opinion, and every time you get honest, there's a reaction like that, somebody's getting trained, right? So either you're being trained on to shut up and stay in your place, don't address that, don't say anything, or you're training him that, Jigga, I'm going to say what I feel, and when I feel it, I'm going to say it, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And if this is how
There
you
it
deal with
is.
it every time, then every time we're gonna have this situation. Somebody has
There.
got to get trained.
There it
And what
is.
you don't want to do, yes, you want to respect your partner, but what you don't want to do is have someone squeeze you down into a proverbial box where
Yep.
your opinions do not matter.
Absolutely. Wow.
Now,
Well, that's
number
big.
3 is much of your day taken up with trying to do everything for your partner. And when I
Yeah.
say everything, I mean everything. Right?
Wow.
Because sometimes that is the deal, right? If you're completing numerous tasks for your loved one that could easily be done by said loved one,
Yep.
you might be caught up in a dysfunctional codependent relationship. These chores are done at the determinant of your own life. You can't live because you busy catering to that person's every whim.
Yeah.
I've seen this time and time again. And this is where I'm careful in my relationship with my wife because of my hustle and my grind. I don't ever want her to take a back seat to what I'm doing, right?
Right.
Because she's got dreams, aspirations, goals. She's got things that she wants to accomplish. It's going to make her feel fulfilled. And I want her to go after those things just as much as she wants me to build this $1 billion empire, right? So you've got to be careful with, especially when you understand the 5 love languages, right? Her love language is acts of service. Right? And she loves to serve others. That's how she expresses love. And I have to constantly try to encourage her that it's okay to say no in service to others so that you can better serve yourself and do some of the things that you want to do. So it's you got to be careful. And sometimes you can take advantage of somebody without knowing their love language is acts of service. You like to be served, you like people doing stuff for you, then all of a sudden that person is catering to your every whim. It becomes a habitual lifestyle. And you're saying, oh, she's happy doing that. He's happy doing that. And no, got to be careful going down that road.
You know what? I'm going to say this real quick without hopefully not taking too far of a left turn. But I think that we really ought to, probably in the future, I think it'd be worth it doing a show on the 5 love languages because I absolutely love the study of it. Like I've gone all the way, and I just climbed in. And because I really do believe that when people understand how to love one another, it really makes a difference in the relationship. I know that mine is acts of service and gift giving and then affirmation. Those are my top 3. And that's how I associate love. So when I do those things, I expect those things back in reciprocation. But if the person that I'm with, if their love language is not that, then I can do them because it fulfills me. My expectation should not be that back, or my expectation should be set by what I tell people I like. So I just would be like, hey, and I do a lot of talking about the love languages in the beginning of meeting someone new because I'm like, don't get it twisted. Don't think I'm a gold digger or none of that. I can do for me. But here, if this is how I receive love, affirmation, acts of service, and gift giving. So give with the gift now. So
no, and it's incredibly important to know that. And not even if they don't reciprocate your love the way you give it, but you got to know what theirs is. Like, so mine is affirmation and physical touch. I'm the public display of affection guy, right? I want to hold hands and that kind of stuff in public. That's not my sugar. But when I reach for her hand, she reaches back because in her mind, she knows he's showing his love for me. So let me accept his love. Otherwise, I could feel rejected.
You walk around with your hands in your pocket, be like, and whistling.
Like, because that's the thing that people don't get is If that's my love language and I reach for her hand and she pulls it away, I literally feel like she's rejecting my love.
Absolutely.
And that becomes a issue, right? Now, with her,
I'm going to say something ignorant. Go ahead.
With her, I have know that she is so bashful that we couldn't kiss in public because that's me putting her in a very awkward place, even though that's how I express my love, right? So I have to know how far I can go with showing my love to her in public with my primary love language. And so even me calling her Sugar in public is why everybody thinks Sugar is her name. Her name is not Sugar.
I love it. That is hilarious.
Don't call it that.
Right.
Ladies call it that, but men don't call my Sugar.
Right. Sugar come out of nowhere. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, damn, what happened? Look, I was going to say something ignorant because that's what I do. When you say, if she doesn't hold your hand back, then that you run the risk of being rejected. I was just going to say I identify with that because if I give a gift and I don't get a gift back, I'm rejected. I give gift. That's how I show that I love somebody. So don't come around me talking about some I love you. But hey, if you couldn't love me, that ain't how I love, player. Put something in my hand.
You give a gift, Michelle. You looking beautiful today. I love that haircut on you. I'm an affirmation guy, so that's the way I show love.
And I like affirmation too. However, gift giving and acts of service is right. Primary. So you can like the haircut, get it cut. Pray to get it cut. That's an act of service.
That's act of service.
And the gift. You like it so much. Look, 1818 Washington, right down to my barbershop. There we go. All right.
Love it.
Sorry. Let's get back to the all right. So we were on number 4. I got pop-ups going crazy here. Okay, so we were on number 4. Mm-hmm. Are you leery of, oh my God. Are you leery of asking for help from your partner? If you can't seek assistance from your partner, it's very frustrating and that will get you put clean up out of this life. Okay. In a healthy relationship, partners freely and regularly ask for a hand. Brother, can you spare a dime? I should have to ask you. Anticipate my needs. Or if I do ask, I shouldn't get a pause.
Right.
Yeah, I can. No, what you mean? Pause. I need the dramatic pause because then I'm feeling rejected. All jokes aside, I'll be honest with you. This one right here, I simply, and this is there's probably some deep-rooted dysfunction here, but I don't ask. Mm-hmm. Pride. I don't ask because I don't want to be disappointed. So I'm not going to ask because I don't want that disappointment. Because if you let me down and you don't do it, I'm not even going to call you out on it. I'll be like, oh, okay. But it's back there.
Registry.
It does. Yeah. It does. So I just learned that if I deal with a guy and you don't anticipate my needs, I'm a woman. You a man. A woman has needs. There are things in a woman that need to be done for a woman. So if you're that guy and you don't get that, I'm like, ooh, what's going on? Because you say you love me, but you're not anticipating my needs. Not that I want to be taken care of or kept. Been there, done that. Don't want to go back. But I think that if I anticipate your needs, you should anticipate mine.
Yeah. And I want to say this about other relationships as well, not just the intimate relationships, but the platonic relationships. This one right here, like I know people who have literally trained everybody around them not to ask for anything.
Okay.
I'm talking about, you would think if I just suggest, hey, have you run this by so-and-so? You would think I'd cuss their parents out or something, the way they flip out about the even thought of asking this particular person for something. Wow. And I'm like, well, you do XYZ for this person all the time. You can't ask them to come through for you this one time.
Right,
But
man.
this is very, it's one of those deals where you got to be careful in all of your relationships and evaluate this. If you cannot go to a friend, a sister, cousin, brother, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, someone that you're constantly serving and ask them for anything, that's a one-sided relationship. Right? That is one of those relationships where they feel for some reason that you owe them something.
Thank you.
And it's like, nah, if this thing can't go back and forth, if there's no reciprocity, I can't call on you when you need me, then you can't constantly call on me when you need me. It should not work that way. But certainly in a loving relationship amongst couples, then I should not feel leery about asking my sugar for anything. And she shouldn't feel leery about asking me, can I go downstairs and start load the laundry? Can I run to the store and get this, that, or the other? Right. So Michelle says, woo, yes, I am like that. I will not ask. And somewhere along the line, enough people have told you no, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to go through that again. And here's the thing. You also will train those people the opposite to continue to say no, right? Or those that would be a blessing to you, you don't give them an opportunity to be that blessing because you want. So that's the flip side of that. And I had to tell somebody that this weekend. Somebody wanted me to do something for them, and I'm like, you know, I do it for you at no cost. But if I am true to the word that says I'm gonna bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you, by me not allowing you to bless me is me blocking your blessing. So you have to sometimes allow people the opportunity to bless you and ask for that help. Number 5, when you do ask for help, how does your partner react? Hopefully your partner is open and willing to help you out whenever you ask. However, if you're codependent, you might not feel comfortable with asking or your partner's response. And I want to take this to parent-child, right? Because the Bible speaks about being both willing and able, right? Both being someone who is not only obedient, right? But the attitude by which I obey takes a huge part in my level of blessing. That's the difference between the 30, 60, and the 100-fold, right? Yeah, you did what your parents told you, but you did it with an attitude. So yeah, you got blessed, but you got a little blessed. You could have got big blessed, but you got a little blessed because when you did what you were asked to do, you did it with an attitude and disgruntled, right? I am very careful, right? This is where I get into my Kevin Hart mode with my sugar. Okay. Oh, yeah, sure, babe. Sure. You want me to do that? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, okay. I got it. No worries. I'm gonna do it right now. Yep. And it's not because I'm henpecked. Right. But it is more because I don't ever want to reflect a negative attitude when she asks me to do something. Because she's never given me a negative attitude when I ask her to do something. So that's kind of, I am very careful and cautious in that regard.
That's good. That's good. All right, number 6. We just kind of talked about this, and I don't even know. Here you go. Do you find yourself feeling hurt or angry because your partner doesn't notice your needs? Oh boy. Although you try to take care of everything, you are disappointed that your partner does not spontaneously see what's going on with you. You wait and you wait for your partner to recognize your needs, but they rarely do. Yeah, that's where the just don't ask, because and as I get older, though, I am definitely coming out of that, because there are some things I think I could deal with, but then there are some things I can't. And I will be honest, I'm spoiled, you know. I'm spoiled, and I'm okay saying I'm spoiled. I'm not a ridiculously over the top, overbearing, spoiled person, but you know what I'm saying, in a relationship situation, I'm going to anticipate your needs. If I know you go to work every day and we live together, then I'm get up and try to make you a lunch, or I'm gonna make sure you got dinner waiting when you come home, or if you want breakfast, let me make sure your clothes ironed. And similar to what you just said, it's not a matter of I don't know what the female version of henpecked is, but it's not that. I think it's just that if you love someone, you give to them.
Pregnant, Michelle, is what it is.
Barefoot. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not barefoot and pregnant. Hey. Although I am barefoot right now, but I'm not pregnant. But I am pregnant with revelation. No. Okay. So, but I just think that love gives. Point blank. When you love someone, it makes you want to pull out all that's inside of you and give to that person, you know, as much as you can with balance. And, you know, if we're in this relationship and, you know, we exist together in the same world and you're not meeting my needs, you don't see what's going on with me, but I see you, but you don't care enough to see me. That's a problem. Yeah. It's a problem. Yeah. So
this should be a problem as a workaholic. I have to get better. And Sugar has trained me with somewhat of a long leash. She knows the mission. Okay.
Yeah.
Grind for 3 or 4 weeks. And then I'm gonna need you to take a whole weekend off, and then it's just you and me. Right? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let you grind. So let me miss 1 or 2 of those weekends.
Yeah. And, that's good compromise.
Then Sugar is no longer sweet. If you catch my drift. And if you know, let me just describe my Sugar. She is 4'10" and a half. So that right there speaks little people's complex all day, every day. So she goes from Sugar to not being so sweet because I missed 2 or 3 weekends because I'm working and I'm distracted. Yeah, it ain't nice. It ain't
probably nice. She go from 14 to 16.
Right.
And she become a giant. Like, baby, I'm sorry. Yeah. Baby, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. So, number 7. You believe you can't have a friendship independent of your relationship. Woo! Because you're busy doing chores and errands for your partner and he's rarely satisfied with how you do them, you don't have time to maintain friendships outside of that's huge, right? And I don't care who you are. And this is where understanding your mate and your partner comes in. Sugar knows that. Not only am I trying to build an empire for our family and leave a legacy, but this brings me pleasure because I'm in my purpose. This is what I love to do. So she understands that. And I have to be equally understanding that, okay, if I'm going to be in the office and doing my thing, she has to have her outlets. And I can't have her busy trying to cater to my every whim and then be like, you want to see your mom and them again? No, you going out with your sister and them again? No, it don't work like that. And I know people in those kinds of relationships, and it's like, man, you what they say, pressure bust pipes. And when pipes bust, they bust Negroes across the head. That's all I'm saying. You better be careful. You better be careful. Putting your woman on your mate under that kind of pressure.
I didn't see that coming. Okay. Yeah. Put some side of the head. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Number 8. Do you have hobbies and activities to enjoy separate from your partner? To maintain a healthy individual identity, it's important to cultivate your own hobbies and interests apart from the relationship. If you don't, it could be a sign of codependency. What are your things? What are your things that you do just for you? You know, I like to go to Soulard Market in the summertime. You know, I think the last person that I dated, they wasn't real big on crowds, and they didn't like to go to Soulard. But that was my thing. We did things together. You know what I'm saying? But when I go to Soulard, I can go to Soulard by myself. Like, I don't need anybody to go with me. So it was okay that he didn't go. You do your thing. He liked to go to the casino. That's your thing, you know, back then. And so you can go do that. I'll go do this. I think where the line is, as long as we don't build up too many separate activities from one another. We have all these extracurricular activities and no activities together other than the main activity, other than the main event, then I think that's where you set yourself up. But I think that's healthy balance to, I got my things, you got yours, and then we have ours.
Yeah, yeah. Travis, good. Welcome to the stream. He says, listen, yeah, I love jogging, football. Don't bother me, right?
Okay.
Listen,
right to the point.
And I might be jogging and watching the game at the same time. So really, don't bother me. It's going down.
Now I'm on the treadmill, watching TV, watching the game.
On the treadmill, and the game is on. Don't woman, don't you come in here. Oh,
right.
Okay, hot wings. Okay, come on in.
What, my shoelaces are tied? I'll get to it later. Woman, let me go. Let me be. Let me be great.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's those things, and I started teaching my sons this early on.
Yes.
Like, if the young lady that you're dating doesn't have her own things, she will never understand your commitment to the things that you have. Like, one of my sons plays ball in college, and he played ball in high school. Littlest thing out there, but he plays real big, and he was dedicated and committed to the game. He said, I'm trying to get to play ball on the next level. Right now, I don't have time for a girlfriend. He had bent his rule, had a good friend, and they wanted to take it to the next level and start dating. And he ended up cutting it off for the same reason he didn't want to start it in the first place. Because he's like, Dad, I walked up to our classroom and she's texting me before I get to my classroom. I'm like, that's a lot.
What you doing?
It's like, right. I'm trying not to be late for class after just walking you to your class. First and foremost, I'm running through the hall is what I'm doing. Right. But also it was, here's my day. Like, I'm in the gym before school, 5:30 in the morning. I'm dropping him off at the gym so he can work out before school. Then he's got school. Then he's got practice after school. Then immediately after practice after school, he goes and practices for his club team. When he comes home, he does homework. And then after that, he wants to spend 30 or 45 minutes playing the video game. There was no time for her in there. When we were friends, that was the routine. And you thought that was going to change because your title changed. I tried to tell you that, no, here's my dedication and my commitment. My 45 minutes of game time is important to me because that's what I do aside from school and basketball to help me reset. I don't have time for you to be texting you back and forth trying to see how you are, how your day was, because I'm already trying to get prepared for the next day. And all I have down is with the game, right? So if that person doesn't have their own thing, then it could be very
face.
It could be very traumatic, like, because it's they become a Klingon, and it's like nobody likes a Klingon. I mean, if two people like to be that way, but everybody has to have their separate outlets.
Oh yeah.
So,
number 9. Yep.
Do you try to control things to make yourself feel better? Because you feel like you're walking on eggshells, you don't want to upset your partner. Therefore, you take steps to control situations however you can.
I used to do that.
I
used to do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, kids, be quiet. Your daddy's sleeping now.
Right.
Like you can't. You're trying to control every situation that could set this joker off.
Man,
No,
that
you can't. Right? You even out in public trying to control strangers and stuff because you don't want to set this joker.
we don't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? Or remember, I think it was Good Times. I forget the show. Everybody hates Chris. Make sure Daddy get the big piece of chicken. If Daddy don't get the big piece of chicken, all hell is breaking loose. So no, we
find yourself
and I used
in
to do that
situation trying to control everything so that you can keep peace. You've taken the responsibility from the other person to bring peace, to bring joy, to not overreact, to not. This is delicate, man. And if you have answered yes to more than 3 or 4 of these, I hate to break the news to you, but you're in a codependent relationship.
Absolutely. There's another word biblically that I've heard used for that, when you try to control the outcome. Witchcraft. And I didn't even know. I was like, what is that? I was like, I used to do that all the time. Oh Lord, I better start praying. But yeah, you can't, this ain't no That's So Raven situation. You can't control what's gonna happen because you think you can figure out the narrative. Sometimes you just gotta let it play out. So number 10, would you describe your partner as needy, emotionally distant, or unreliable? These qualities often draw in partners who are seen as caretakers. Thus, the codependency begins. Sugar, when I tell you people in St. Louis, I am not a caretaker. That ain't my ministry. That ain't my gift. That ain't my love language. That ain't nothing that's ever been in the future or the cards written for me.
Yeah.
I've done it, but I didn't like it. I did it because my kids is the state make you. And then my mama was my mama. She was my mama. And if she had made one false move, it would have been that. But she was a good mom, so I did it. I wouldn't do it again. Daddy, we're going to have to work some stuff out. You're going to a home. There it is.
Yeah. So, and this is a good example. Travis, my friend, self-awareness is where it begins, right? He says, my wife says she does it to me because I overreact sometimes, but I'm learning though. And that's the beginning of transformation. It's self-awareness and being willing to admit that, you know what, maybe I do overreact too much. So babe, I want you to keep coming to me, but I also want you to point out to me when you feel I have overreacted. So I can not you train me, so that I can retrain myself.
There it is.
To make it a comfortable and easy environment for you to say whatever that you feel, or that you don't feel the need to be trying to control every narrative and every situation. Do you have a perfectionist streak and try to get things exactly right? After all, if you get things perfect, then maybe your partner will be happier, more satisfied, and less angry, disappointed, or annoyed with you. If you feel this way, your relationship is likely codependent. That's too much playing, right? That's too much playing. I wish I could find this Facebook story that I read just recently. And it was so dope. And you guys may have seen this. It's an image of a burnt cherry pie, right? That's the image. And the story says, given from the perspective of the daughter of a married couple. And the story says, I watched my mom serve my dad a burnt pie, and not a darker than normal pie, like a burnt crisp pie. And I watched to see how my dad was going to react. And he just ate it and said nothing, and went to bed later that day, or woke up the next morning, and mom said, I'm sorry about, last night's dinner. Dad said, I loved your pie. Daughter goes and talks to dad and says, that pie was burned, Dad. How can you love that pie? He said, listen, mom had a rough day yesterday. And me, I'm not going to die from eating a burnt piece of pie, but a negative word in that moment could have killed your mom. So I took one for the team. I ate the burnt pie because I know what kind of day she had, right? And sometimes you have to be in tune. And this is where, Travis, I'm with you. I'm learning though, right? This is where I'm learning is I don't always pick up on that kind of stuff. And my wife would say all the time, I'm in tune with you way more than you're in tune with me, right? And I'm learning like what I have picked up on her bad day or what I said, sugar, what this pie, no, baby, this what happened? Right. Or what I have been picked up on. This ain't normal. Normally when I get my pie, it's hot, it's perfect, but something must have gone on in her world, and we'll talk about it another time. I'm going to eat this pie because I could upset her even further if I go in on that. So got to be careful, got to be in tune with your partner. Everything is not going to be perfect. And if you feel the need to make everything perfect in your world to keep the peace, then y'all got bigger issues that need to be addressed.
That's the goal right there. There's only 2 more left here. I could just hit this one really without doing a commentary, but just ask yourself, do you trust your partner? Bam. I'll let that sit. You know, it's not always about codependency. Sometimes it's just trust.
Yep.
There it is.
Yep.
So,
and when it comes to the relationships, here is my definition of a healthy, happy relationship. My wife and I try to outdo each other in making each other happy. Right?
Like that.
When my happiness is tied to how well I make her happy, and her happiness is tied to all of the things that she could do to make my life easier and to make me happy, then boom, you guys are in a perfect place, in my opinion, because I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that she's satisfied. She's doing everything in her power to make sure I'm satisfied. We're putting each other first, and I think that is cool. Number 13, how is your health as it relates to stress? This is the other telltale time, right? If you're doing all these things that we listed and it's stressing you the heck out, often people involved in codependent relationships experience health issues that might be related to stress, like asthma, allergies, out of control eating, chest pain, and skin disorders. Of course, if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, that's why I see a doctor. But what's the root cause of those symptoms? Is it this joker stressing you out? Is it maybe it ain't even the joker? Is it you stressing yourself out because you created a picture in your mind that this is what has to happen for you to satisfy your mate? And maybe it's a simple conversation.
Yeah.
For the last 3 years, I've been around eggshells because I'm scared to speak my mind around you. And he like, I just thought you liked to do all of that stuff, baby. I don't need none of that stuff. I was scared to speak my mind. I didn't want to tell you to stop doing all that stuff because I thought it made you happy. Simple conversation. Simple conversation.
Communication is key, and it's free. It don't cost nothing.
Yes.
Absolutely doesn't cost anything.
So final thoughts, Shelay.
Final thoughts. Man, codependency is real. Evaluate your relationships, definitely. And again, I like where you said this earlier. It's not just romantic relationships. It could be work. It could be parent-child. It could be child to parent. I think one of the biggest things you said was, are you doing things for this person that they can do on their own? That's where I think I start evaluating. Am I codependent? Am I doing these things? This jigger could do this on his own. Why am I doing this? Not from a standpoint of just withdrawing, but just realistically, am I overworking myself just trying to be such a people pleaser that, you know what I'm saying? I'm finding that I am doing things I know I don't like to do. Yeah. I know I don't like to do them. I had the same reaction every time, but I'm steady doing them. And I think we have to learn the difference between sacrifice, which a lot of times people think I'm sacrificing. there's a difference between sacrificing and then that codependency. If you're doing it and you don't like doing it and you're doing it grudgingly, I always tell people, don't do nothing for me and have attitude, because you know what? God ain't gonna honor that. You know what I'm saying? You got an attitude and you mad. No, he love a cheerful, happy, hilarious giver.
Yeah.
So don't give me no gifts and have an attitude. No, but just you can't. You just have to really check your motive. So let people do things on their own. They still gonna love you. They're still gonna know that you love them if you let them do it on your own. So
yeah, you sitting right in bed, the TV on the nightstand, and you calling me from the other room to hand you the remote, and the remote is on.
That's
the
just
stand.
that's parental privilege. It's totally different.
And I'm talking about in relationships, right? Sugar, Sugar, come here. Can you get me the remote control? Because I don't feel like getting up.
Sugar,
if I can't get up, I don't feel like getting up.
Sugar gonna take that pipe and bust your head. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
that's playing with Sugar.
Bust, and that's when heads bust from the pipe busting. Travis says, love this, guys. It's good for me. Sometimes it's not easy to express yourself. Thanks a lot. It is not the easiest thing, but the more you do it, it gets easier, Travis.
Absolutely.
Gets easier because the walls start to come down. And as long as you're doing it with respect and love, and you can do it without raising your voice, listen, that's how it should be. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for engaging with the show. Shout out to our sponsor, Bob Crane Financial and Tax Planning Services. Make sure if you don't have a good tax planner in your life, not a tax preparer, you're going to see in a couple months, and they're just going to file your taxes for you. A tax planner is someone that says, listen, here's how you legally, ethically, and morally cut your tax burden. If you take some of your paycheck and you put it in this investment, it's going to lower your tax responsibility, things of that nature. You need a tax preparer in your life because your biggest expenses are taxes. So you want to lower them as much as you possibly can. So we appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Until we talk to you next time, we want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up.